Hey honeys, welcome back to the podcast here. I'm still your host, Heather Donovan. This week, we will continue to cover the general information of the Zodiac signs. In the last episode, I covered 6 of the 12 Zodiac signs, so if you somehow missed the episode, I very strongly encourage you to go back and listen to part 1, for I will be continuing on with the Zodiac signs this episode. So without further ado, let's jump right back into it, since we still have so much to cover. We will be jumping right into Leo first. Leo takes place on July 23rd through August 22nd. Leo is represented by a lion, and these spirited fire signs are the kings and queens of the celestial jungle. Oh, that word just had to jump right in there in the beginning, so I can slaughter it in the very beginning of the podcast. Fantastic. Anyway, Leo embraces their royal status, attractively, lively, and animated, theological, and passionate. Leos love to bask in the spot and celebrate themselves. These lions are natural leaders, and they enjoy cultivating friendships and romances that are artistic and creatively inspired. Playful Leos have no problem leading into drama-fueled romances that are perfectly suited for the tabloids. In fact, they may even prefer them. After all, every Leo perceives him or herself as a celebrity, as they sound like they are. Astrological divas never gets tired of lavish dinners, exclusive parties, or wearing decent designer wares. Neither is this girl right here, but I am no Leo though. Anyways, Leo is ruled by a sun, the dazzling celestial body that governs life and strongly and all that stuff. The sun never goes retrograde, and likewise. Leos are renowned for their stability, loyalty, and consistency. Leos can become impaired by their ego, pride, and jealousy when they start to fear that their star power is threatened. Me too, Leo. It's important for celestial lions to remember that their bright light is never uncertain by others, and that the bright shine of others' successes does nothing to their own. Ultimately, Leo's own pride is the greatest threat to their own happiness. This fixed sign is known for its ambition and determination, but above all, Leos are celebrated for their remarkable bravery. In the tarot cards, Leo is represented by the Strength card, which depicts the divine expression of physical, mental, and emotional courage and pain. Leos are fearless optimists who refuses to accept failure. Leos will find their deep wells of courage grow as they mature. Leos are dedicated friends and lovers who put their hearts into every relationship. Fittingly, Leo governs the heart. Leo loves to watch your mate succeed until they feel threatened. Speaking of lovers, the best compatibility for Leos are Aries, Gemini, Libra, and Sagittarius. The worst compatibility for Leos are Taurus, Virgo, Cancer, and Capricorn. This concludes Leo. Now we are on to Virgo, which we just spoke about, the Leos not being most compatible with. Virgos takes place on August 23rd to September 22nd. Virgo symbol is Virgin, and is an earth sign that is historically represented by the goddess of wheat and agriculture. It's an association that speaks to Virgo's deep-rooted presence in the material world. Virgos are logical, practical, and systematic to their approach to life. This earth sign is a perfectionist at heart and isn't afraid to improve their skills, still diligent and constant practicing. Hey Virgo, me too. Virgo rules the digestive system, which makes these earth signs especially attuned to these ingredients that make up a whole in food and everything else. They're hyper-aware of every detail. Virgo is governed by Mercury, the messenger planet of communication. Even though Mercury also rules Gemini, like we discussed in part 1, these two signs are radically different. Gemini is all about output and expression, whereas Virgo is all about input and processing. A Virgo deals with information like a computer, transforming even the most jumbled set of information into organized, clear concepts. Even though Virgo longs to show great attention to all pursuits, they must remember that constantly chasing after the ideal can be disruptive when applied to themselves or others. Beauty exists within our imperfections, and it's important for Virgo to learn that flaws are not defects. Above all, Virgos want to help. They're kind, gentle, and supportive friends and lovers who use their incredible intellect and resourcefulness to problem solve. Virgo's opposite sign, Pisces, offers guidance for spirituality, but Virgos wants to assist on a practical level. These earth signs are always striving to provide workable solutions to improve broken systems. Since Virgos are mythological, committed, and hardworking, they make excellent teachers, healers, editors, and musicians. Virgo's best compatibility matches are Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Scorpio, and Capricorn. The worst compatibility match for Virgo is Libra, and it's the only one. So Libras, do better. Speaking of Libras, Libra is up next. Libra takes place on September 23rd through October 23rd. Libra is an air sign and is symbolized by balance. Libra is obsessed with symmetry and strives to create a state in which opposing forces or influences are balanced in all areas of life. These air signs are the ones who has or affects to have a special appreciation of our beauty of the zodiac signs. Libra is ruled by Venus, just like Taurus is, the planet that governs love, beauty, and money. Ain't that nice? Libra adores high art, intellectualism, and someone who has a great deal of knowledge about the fine arts. Suave Libras need to surround themselves with stunning objects and creative environments that reflects their exquisite taste. Preach, Libra, preach. Accordingly, these air signs make excellent designers, decorators, art critics, and stylists. Libra is a cardinal sign, which means that Libra are, accordingly, great at launching new initiatives. However, because Libra considers multiple perspectives in all pursuits, these air signs struggle with indecision. Instead of consistently speaking outside perspectives, Libra would do well to develop and trust their own intuition. Their characteristic state of having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas aside, Libras can navigate virtually any social situation, effortlessly resolving conflicts by simply turning on charm. While Libra's opposite sign Aries represents all about me, Libra symbolizes we, as in we, not the French term like as in we. Anyways, relationships are paramount for Libras, who finds balance and companionship. They love harmonious partners with fashionable mates, especially those who make attractive arm candy. Libra governs the skin, and these air signs are highly motivated by physical appearance. Speaking of Libras in relationship, Libras are compatible with the following signs: Gemini, other Libras, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Libra is least compatible with Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. This concludes Libra. Now on to Scorpio. Scorpio takes place on October 24th through November 21st. Scorpio is one of the most misunderstood signs of the zodiac signs. It's because of its incredible passion and power. Scorpio is often mistaken for a fire sign. In fact, though, Scorpio is a water sign that derives its strength from the psychic, emotional realm. Like fellow water signs, Cancer and Pisces, Scorpio is extremely clairvoyant and intuitive. What makes this water sign unique is their distinctive venomous sting. Like their celestial spirit animal, the scorpion, lies in the way and strikes when least expected. Life is a game of chess with these calculating water signs, who are constantly plotting several steps ahead in order to orchestrate an eventual checkmate. This doesn't mean that their intentions are necessarily wicked. Scorpio simply knows what they want and aren't afraid to do the hard work and play the long game to get it. They never show their cards and they're difficult to interpret or understand. Nature is what makes them so seductive, charming, and enchanting. Scorpio is a sign most closely associated with sex. The part of the body that Scorpio governs is the genital area. Sex isn't solely about pleasure for these sensual Scorpios. They also crave the physical closeness, illumination, and emotional intimacy it can provide. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which I thought I got rid of Pluto, but whatever, not my business. The planet that governs both destructive and transformation. Wait, hold on, if they got rid of Pluto, wouldn't that mean that they'd have to redo all this? I don't know, food for thought. Anyway, on a good day, Scorpio energy is ambitious and enticing. On a bad day, however, the shadowy side of Scorpio is fueled by a relentless desire of control. Power-hungry Scorpios must remember that if controlled by their egos, they are at risk of poisoning themselves. This sign is at its best when that essential intensity is applied to deep, soulful connections with friends and lovers. When they build trust with others, Scorpios demonstrates unparalleled empathy and commitment that brightens even the darkest part of Scorpio's magical psyche. The zodiac signs that are most compatible with Scorpio are Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, other Scorpios, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. I would tell you who Scorpios are not compatible with. However, Scorpio doesn't seem to have a zodiac sign that they are not compatible with. This concludes Scorpio. Next, we are traveling to Sagittarius. You will understand why I am saying that in a minute. Sagittarius takes place on November 22nd through December 21st. Sagittarius is the final fire sign of the zodiacs. Sagittarius traits are unlike any of the other zodiac signs. They're unique to the brazen spirit. What makes Sagittarius so unique is their dynamic blend of passion, curiosity, attention, and adaptability. Sagittarius is represented by the Archer, which is a centaur. Sagittarius isn't afraid to use his bow and arrow to explore expansive terrain, seeking answers in places and spaces that others wouldn't desire and venture off to. Whether they're white river rafting down a river in some undisclosed location, or taking a journey to a scared site to uncover secrets about an ancient civilization, Sagittarius quests have no boundaries. Sagittarius is liable to change sign. Beating is associated with adaptability and flexibility. This perfectly reflects this Archer's deep-rooted desire for change. Sagittarians are born to explore, and it is critical that these Archers has the freedom to roam. Sagittarius rules the skies, so these Archers are always on the move. Being fueled by wanderlust, these Archers can be found traveling in all corners of the world, on thrill-seeking expedition, chasing after geographical, intellectual, and spiritual adventures. Sagittarius are on a personal quest for knowledge, which makes them incredible storytellers, entertainers, and creatives. However, it is all not fun and games. Sagittarius is notorious for his signature bluntness, and their brutal honesty can often lead to misunderstandings, communication breakdowns, and lots of hurt feelings. Same Sagittarius, same, literally. The good news, though, is that Sagittarius doesn't take anything too seriously, so it can be hard to stay mad at these wild optimists. Sagittarius' ruling planet is Jupiter, planet of abundance. Jupiter's motto is go big or go home. Speaking of Jupiter, I don't know what makes me think of this. Some of you aren't even old enough to know this show. Maybe you guys do know this show. Remember that show, Sailor Moon? Maybe it's still around. I don't know where you can even find it. But I used to love that show, even though I didn't see every single episode. But anyway, talking about that name, Jupiter, makes me think about it. Because there's a character in the show called Jupiter. Anyway, Jupiter is all about excess. It expands on anything it touches. So naturally, Sagittarius demands it to have it all. The word enough doesn't exist within these signs' vocabulary. When Sagittarius is intrigued by something, whether it is a Google black hole or a newfound internet crush, they always go all in, only until something else catches eye though. As a liable to change sign, Sagittarius doesn't stay on a single fascination for too long. These Archers have so many passions and interests, they're constantly bouncing from one idea to the next. Sounds a little like ADHD-ish to me. Sagittarians are captivating characters who can light up any room with their exhilarating tales, infectious laughter, and dynamic charm. Since Sagittarius are effortlessly magnetic, they can easily attract friends and lovers with their natural humor. They are definitely the comedians of the Zodiac signs who infuses all of their conversations without their signature no BS attitudes. Sagittarius are fun, playful, and extremely philosophical. They can seamlessly weave stories, fusing topics ranging from quantum physics to modern-day celebrity pop culture. Why? Because Sagittarius is interested in absolutely everything. Their spirit is fueled by their passion for knowledge, so they relish the opportunity to become experts in anything. Sagittarius must remember to keep their sharp tongues in check though. Even though they know a lot, they don't know everything. If they're not careful, they could come off as pretentious and arrogant. Sagittarius has no filter at all, which makes this fire sign so incredibly funny, intelligent, and dynamic, but is also why they can end up scorching even their closest friends and family on a bad day. I hear ya, Sagittarius, I hear ya. Also, because of Sagittarius' impossible to satisfy wanderlust, it's hard for the sign to commit. Consistency is a challenge for these fiery signs, and although it doesn't come from an ill-intentioned place, other zodiac signs may perceive the Sagittarius as flaky and unreliable. To make less severe, Sagittarius should make sure that they don't overpromise, which will inevitably lead to under-delivering. Instead, Sagittarius should make sure that they're being extremely transparent about existing responsibilities so that others can manage their expectations accordingly. Sagittarius can get along with any zodiac sign, so as long as the other people gives them the space to roam. Whether they're following a winding course through the philosophical conversations or backpacking across distant terrain, Sagittarians are fueled by freedom. Although Sagittarius can work with any zodiac sign, they must be extra careful with friends and lovers who can use a lot more empathy. Romantically, Sagittarians are seeking a co-pilot. These adventurous lovers represent any sort of boundaries, so constant motion is essential to any relationships with a Sagittarius. So which zodiac signs are most compatible with Sagittarius? They are most compatible with Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, other Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Fellow fire signs, Aries and Leo, are attracted to Sagittarius' humor, wit, and fiery passion, so Sagittarius will often ignite connections with these dynamic spark plugs. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius also fuel Sagittarius' flame. The air signs are intellectual, social, and curious, so they find Sagittarius' adventurous nature to be extremely attractive. Sagittarius is least compatible with Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. Sagittarius' unpredictable nature may make grounded earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, a bit uneasy. Similarity, the emotional water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces might take Sagittarius' blunt complimentary a bit too personally. This concludes Sagittarius. Now on to our final zodiac sign, Capricorn. Capricorn takes place on December 22nd through January 19th. Capricorn is the last earth sign of the zodiac signs, and their unique spirits are powerful. There is something special about Capricorns, whether it is their fearless ambition, their limitless resilience, their ability to keep pushing forward, even in the face of challenging adversity and painful strife. Or maybe it's their secret wild side that's very rarely depicted in standard personality assessment tests. Inside every earnest Capricorn is mischievous troublemaker. Although this earth sign may seem a bit conservative and restrained at first, Capricorn's closest friends and lovers know that these goats love to party. The goat is Capricorn's spirit animal. This spirit animal speaks to Capricorn's ability to divide into two branches. Capricorns are skilled at navigating both the material and emotional realms. They scale the steepest mountains while stimulously building up their psychic fortitude. Capricorn rules the knees, making it easier for the sign to climb. Interestingly, Capricorns are said to age backwards. They become increasingly youthful, optimistic, and playful as they mature. In the tarot cards, Capricorn is symbolized by the Devil card. Capricorns are relentless. They are determined to overcome whatever stands in their way. They have the big picture, long-term goals, and they absolutely do not want to be so involved in something complicated by annoying details or unnecessary information. However, because of their unwavering focus, Capricorn can sometimes be perceived as cold, unemotional, or even cutthroat, but that's only because Capricorn has perspective. If it won't matter in 5 years, then they simply cannot bother with it today. Of course, this speaks quite literally to Capricorn's planetary ruler, Saturn. Saturn is the planet associated with task, rules, responsibility, and time. Thanks to Saturn, Capricorn is incredibly connected to the concept of time. Sure, this may translate to Capricorn's punctuality or calendar management, but it's a bit more extensive than that. Capricorn recognizes that life is short, and likewise, they're all racing against the clock. There are so many things Capricorn wants to accomplish and achieve in this lifetime, but slowing down is simply not an option for them. As a cardinal sign, Capricorn is really motivated to start new projects. This zodiac sign is consistently coming up with new ideas. Capricorns are known to be extremely hardworking, visionaries, leaders, and trailblazers. Capricorns are dynamic individuals whom expresses a unique balance of confidence and humility. They have a grounded, practical spirit that makes people feel comfortable in their presence. Although they're very selective about who they let into their lives, me too, Capricorns. Capricorns are incredibly gracious friends who pride themselves on honesty and loyalty. One thing to know is that Capricorns definitely do not sugarcoat things. If a Capricorn doesn't approve of your choices or behavior, they will be sure to let you know it. But the great thing about Capricorn is that they will also help you come up with some solutions, action items, and practical ideas on how to improve your situation. Capricorns are doers, which means they're all about making it happen. Even if Capricorn is knee-deep in deadlines and high-stake crisis, they will go out of their way to consider the needs of the closest companion. Of course, Capricorn must remember that not everyone wants, needs, or desires the same lifestyle that Capricorn lives. Although Capricorn is extremely ambitious and their determination is undoubtedly extremely inspiring, it's important that Capricorn doesn't impose their own standards on others. It's no problem when Capricorn focuses on their own aspiration, but projecting their own values on closest friends and family is a totally different story. Capricorns must remember to keep their eyes on their own papers. After all, not everyone wants to climb the ladder straight to the top at once. Do we though? Some folks just want to live a calm, relaxed, and peaceful existence, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Is there such thing though? Every Capricorn should cultivate a gratitude practice just like any other zodiac signs and everybody in general. Capricorn has such lofty goals, it's difficult for this earth sign to appreciate their current reality, believing that nothing will ever be good enough until they reach the mountain peak. Capricorn will be sure to feel even more fulfilled when they finally reach your desired outcomes. Capricorn can connect with all zodiac signs. The only condition is that they don't stand in this goat's way, because Capricorn doesn't have time for petty games. This zodiac sign values honesty and transparency. Frankly, they would prefer it if someone was super blunt, even kind of harsh, because they absolutely cannot stand people-pleasing and ego-stroking. Okay, I get that. That's me. Romantically speaking, Capricorns are seeking an anchor. These loyal lovers are busy AF, so they appreciate their loyalty, consistency, and unwavering commitment. The following zodiac signs are compatible with Capricorn. They are Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, and Pisces. Fellow earth signs, Taurus and Virgo, are attracted to Capricorn's ambition, determination, and hard-working spirit. So Capricorn will often provide deep connections with these like-minded zodiac signs. The water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, are excellent fits for Capricorn because these water signs are sensitive, compassionate, and psychologically deep, so they can actually help Capricorn connect with their intuitive qualities. Worst compatibility matches for Capricorn are Aries, Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Fire signs Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius might find that Capricorn's stern essence a bit drab, while the air signs Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius can be turned off by Capricorn's judgmental tone. Like I've said before, although Capricorn can make any dynamic work with any zodiac sign, these goats must remember that not every person appreciates that tough love. I have no idea why Aquarius and Capricorns don't get along with each other, though, like they are the best match. I mean, Capricorns sound quite pleasant to me. And I said the same thing about Cancers last week too, but that's just my own opinion though. I mean, whatever I think. Laugh out loud. So we have covered the general information of all 12 zodiac signs, and I hope that you all have enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing the research. There is so much more we can go into about the zodiac signs. If you guys would like to hear more about the zodiac signs, then DM the podcast, Instagram, anytime. This is the part where I usually plug in the social medias and sign off the episode, but I would just like to take a few minutes to talk about some podcast stuff first. So first off, I cannot thank each and every one of you and express how much gratitude I really have for everyone's support on this podcast. It's truly amazing, and I never thought I would have this much support in my lifetime. Never, ever, ever. And thank you, thank you, thank you. With all that being said, I want everyone to be involved in this podcast and have a voice. After all, I couldn't even begin to consider doing any of this without all of you. So I would love for everyone to engage with the pod and the podcast's social media. You guys can do that in so many ways. You guys are more than welcome to come converse with the podcast, myself, and other listeners of the podcast anytime on any of our social medias of the podcast. You can even go comment on our posts and even like or react to them. All this stuff is fantastic and it helps. One thing that I do ask and request is that you all are kind and considerate to others and are very open-minded because, we all can learn something. Everybody, I don't care how old you are and how much wisdom you have, you can always learn something new. And obviously not to post hateful things. I don't care what they are, just please don't do it. I strive for this to be a safe place all the time. As much as I love my supporters, I will not be afraid to remove any hateful things that I see or even that is brought up to me, and there is a possibility that I would be blocking you from the podcast's social media as well. I really hate to do this, so please don't even consider doing it. I don't even want it coming across anybody's mind. There's enough hate everywhere around the world, and we don't need even more here. I have not seen this happen yet. I hope to never see this happen, but I still consider this a very friendly reminder and a warning. Remember that there is a very huge difference between constructive criticism and disagreeing with something and just spewing hateful things out. Let's just continue to strive doing better. Always rate, reviewing, and subscribing also helps the podcast grow by getting new followers and popularity, and it helps people get recommended to us, and that's how they find us. Also, the word of mouth always helps. Talking about the podcast to everyone also helps the podcast get even more out there. I mean, you could tell everybody, tell your family, your friends, your neighbors, their friends, their family, your favorite stranger, you name it. I myself spent practically a whole day last week going to local businesses in my area asking if they would be willing to hang a flyer that I have made myself to help promote the podcast. And as for social media, remember that it's just me literally doing everything for the podcast, which is editing, social media, doing research. You think of it, I do it. Would I like an intern and stuff someday? Absolutely. But right now it's just not possible right now. I try to post at least one thing a day, but sometimes that always doesn't seem to work out. I also have a main job that also pays my bills and other personal responsibilities and commitment that I have to attend to. Please know that I am really trying and doing my best, and I am trying to do better. I'm really committed to this podcast, and just please keep that in mind. Also, I will own up to I suck at keeping up my own personal social media as it is. This has not been a new thing. This has always been a thing. Like, I'll go for a month or two without posting things. It's totally normal. It's fine. As for my future intentions for this podcast, I really just want to entertain, motivate, and help you all be the best people that we can all be, with a few laughs along the way, obviously. Because, that's part of my thing, too. Like, I like to make everybody feel better and happy. Like, I will even roast myself to make somebody feel happy. I do that on occasion anyway. And even if I'm sad, I still love and want to make people happy. It's just me, and it always has been, and I don't ever see that changing. And if it does, please be concerned. In the future, I would also love to have some big heavy hitter people come on the podcast, like from reality TV shows such as Survivor, The Amazing Race, The Challenge, my favorite show Big Brother, and Dance Moms. Absolutely not the Abby Lee Miller though, because, gross. And besides, we don't need any evil and toxic people around here, unless she wants to come on and answer some hard, heavy-hitting questions, which I will not let her off easy, because, I just despise her. I can't stand her. I hate her guts. I just don't agree with her. But the thing is, we also know that she will never do that. She'd just storm out in a fit and try to do the blame game and blame everybody else and try to turn the tables on me. And then she would try to get her lawyers all up on me, and I ain't got the time for any of that, let's be honest. I also would like to get some comedians such as Nikki Glazer, Whitney Cummings, Chelsea Lynn, and Paige Jen to come on the podcast. Oh my god, could you imagine Chelsea, Paige, and I starting the episode saying, "Hey, honeys," all together? I would die of straight up happiness right then and there. Also, I would love to get some specialists and other guests on here. And no, we would not just talk about their specialty or what show they were on and such. We would talk about real life and lots of other shit in general. But that is also why we need to get this podcast growing and to continue to grow, so that we can be able to get these guests to come on and so we get the podcast to do more amazing opportunities, especially for you guys. Just a few more things and then I'll just scoot on out of here. Next week, I already have another topic planned. I was telling my mom about it and she was like, ooh. So that's a big hint for you guys. So obviously don't miss that. Duh. But the week after, I will probably be doing an episode where I catch up with you all. And boy, do I have a story for you all. And I was going to have a special edition episode come out way before this podcast. But obviously wasn't able to do it. I just couldn't do it on my tight schedule and stuff. But I might do a Q&A also. So if you have any questions, send them over to the podcast Instagram. But remember that I do reserve the right to decline to answer any questions that I don't feel comfortable and that I don't want to answer. But on the most part, I am mostly an open book. I will tell you almost anything and everything. I don't even care what people think. So there's not much that I won't answer. So please send those into the Instagram. Just DM those questions. I will also make a post ahead of time about that too, maybe, I don't know, a couple days before I start recording this episode to ask you guys what you think. So keep an eye out. Also, if you can send them in whenever, all that stuff. Also, I'm thinking about adding a segment at the end of the pod until early November, so it would start probably beginning of August. Yeah, I'd say the beginning of August and go on until early November. I'm thinking about covering this year's Big Brother season. Big Brother is my favorite TV show, and you would know that if you absolutely knew me. I am obsessed with it. I have been studying it for years, and I just love the game. If you don't know what it's about, then I'm about to tell you. Basically, these casting producers cast all these people all over America. 8 guys, 8 girls, all different personalities, all different walks of life. They lock them together in a house without any communication, no social media, no outside world communication, nothing. They can even go outside and get their own groceries. They have their own groceries brought into them by producers. They could go outside into a tiny yard, but basically there's nothing. You can't even listen to music. And they compete every week. They compete for a head of household where they could put up people for nominations. They kick one person out per week unless it's a double eviction or a triple eviction. They kick out another person. And they keep going on until this final 2 people. And then they vote on who wins Big Brother. Then America picks who their favorite house guest is. It's just a big thing and I love it. It's like my sport, and the finale is practically my Super Bowl. And if you hate Big Brothers, then, do better and don't be a hateful person. So what I would be doing is giving my opinions on the season, talking about previous seasons, talk about like my favorite people on it, and talk about what I would do in the given scenarios. Let me know what you guys think about this. Would you like me to add this segment during the Big Brother season? Because it would probably be like the last 10 minutes or so of every episode. I really haven't decided how to work that yet. The last thing is that there is a support show link at the bottom of every episode description. This is a new thing. It's a link to my own personal PayPal. It really is me, so you don't have to worry about any scammers. But I really do want to stress that you do not have to do this at all, unless you're comfortable and you really, really want to. You can send a donation that goes directly towards the podcast, only to support it. It would go towards things like equipment for the podcast use. Any like subscription like this, like how I post a podcast on all the platforms. Subscription for that I have to pay every month. Traveling to interview guests for the podcast. And other opportunities that the podcast might have. All donations would go towards that. And again, I really do stress, because trust me, I understand that it really is a tough world. Everybody's having a tough time. Everybody's struggling. Trust me, I'm feeling the pinch myself. I mean, I honestly get it. So you do not have to make any donations, but if you do, that's cool. That's really great. That's awesome. If you do want to make a donation, then please do it through friends and friends. And first off, I thank you so much for that. What I might do, I haven't decided on this either, is if anybody makes a donation to the show, I might start doing like support shout outs during the podcast. Like it might be at the beginning or something, like shout out names who supported the podcast, like by donating. But again, I haven't completely decided, but I would definitely do something special for those who donate to the podcast, because, I cannot acknowledge like what this podcast would not be without you guys. I mean, really, I couldn't even begin to do this without you, like I keep saying. So, I mean, I really can't express my gratitude for it. I mean, I never realized how much support I had in people, and I still found that out. And even before that, I didn't know how much support I had before then, but now it's really I don't even know how to describe it. But anyway, now that I'm done with all my spiels, please rate, review, subscribe, and tell your favorite stranger, as well as everybody else about the podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast, the TikTok and Instagram at Life Has a Question Mark. The podcast also has a Facebook page now. It's brand new, just started. Oh god, I'd like to say Friday or Saturday, so about 2 days ago. It's also Life Has a Question Mark, so you could go and like that and follow us there. You could always converse on the social media pages with each other, comment on the thing, share the post, etc. etc. I mean, all the support helps us grow. You can also follow my personal Instagram and TikTok as well at Miss D's World 2022. You could try adding me on Facebook, but honestly, I don't add people that I'm not really close with or know. So honestly, I would not go the Facebook route. It's nothing personal. It's just I would like keeping my Facebook more personal to those people. And remember, you are what your zodiac sign is. Point blank, period.